Welcome to Pathways to Success at PGCC. And now here's your host, Professor G.
Greetings, friends. I am Professor G. Markray, and welcome to this edition of Pathways to Success at Prince George's Community College, the best kept secret in Prince George's County. And if you don't know, you will by the end of this show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Two wonderful ladies join us right now as this is the session episode of the Pathways to Success podcast. What does that encompass? Well, it encompasses human services, being there for one another, helping each other to grow. And joining us today is Dawn Gillom Carter, a board-certified human services practitioner and associate professor of human services here at Prince George's Community College. Great to have you in the house, Dawn. How are you?
Thank you. Doing well. Thank you.
And one of her prized pupils is Ruth Machado. She's a human services student who came to Prince George's Community College as a first-generation student. And her counselor talked her into coming to PGCCs. She certainly is becoming a rising star. Ruth, thank you for taking the time to join us. And I want to begin the conversation right there with you about how you were influenced to find out about what we now know is the best kept secret in the county.
Well, thank you for having me. I was a little confused about what pathway to take for college. I wasn't sure if a 4-year was right for me or if a 2-year was a better fit for me. But definitely my counselor helped me see that going to Prince George's County Community College was the best option for me. It's definitely helped me learn a lot, learn about the community, learn about the resources we have, and it's definitely been a wonderful experience to be here.
And talk about what it's like being a first-generation college student and how the experience at PGCC has made it beneficial to you.
Well, being a first-gen was definitely an experience I've had. My parents did not attend college, and I also don't have any siblings that have attended a college as well. So learning about FAFSA, learning about grants, learning about scholarships is something that I had to figure out on my own. And I also got the help from Prince George's Community College. They're amazing advisors that have really helped me figure out a way to pay for college and to also just go on to a higher degree after this.
Dawn, I wanted to ask you about, the it factor, if you will. What makes your program something that really hits people like they've hit Ruth and really changes the trajectory of their lives?
I want to first, thank you for having me, and I want to first really want to talk about my board, the chairman, I want to talk about Dr. Corey Brown. I want to thank him for having me here. And in the HES department, Humanities, English, and Social Sciences, I want to focus on the behavioral and social science. And we know that behavior and social sciences strives to understand and conduct the conduct of human beings from birth to inception. And in human services, we strive to bring people a higher quality of life through different many service delivery options. And the majority of my students that come here, they're mid-level professionals. And over the last 7 years, we've had an influx of Latino students that I am very happy to be a part of their life. These students that come to us are non-traditional students. And when I say non-traditional students, a lot of them may not be 18 when they come, but they're coming with a story. And I think that their story really fits into your Pathways model because they're coming with the story, they're coming with the ability to want to help people, and I equip them with the skills. I and my colleagues equip them with the skills to go on to a 4-year school with the ultimate goal of becoming a therapist.
So what's the ideal student that you're looking for? What if you could build a profile right now, the type of person that will come in to the campus, not named Ruth, who could who you would be looking for, almost as though you were recruiting, if you will?
This is what I tell my students. All I need you to do is show up. I need you to show up, and I'll take it from there. I need them to show up with a heart to serve. I want them to show up to be able to look at the least of people, looking at the least of people, wanting to take them to a higher plateau in their lives. And I want them to show up looking at the least of people and wanting to be a change agent. That's the word that I use throughout all of my classes, is having a desire to be a change agent, to see a person where they are currently, meet them where they are, and to take them to a higher plane in life.
As a change agent, Ruth, your thoughts, I would be interested in hearing. Is that something that comes from within? Did you find that, for lack of a better term, your spirit was sort of awakened when you stepped on campus? How did that work in your personal walk?
Yes. So that phrase has a lot of impact on my life. Growing up, I knew that I wanted to help people. Just didn't, at a young age, you don't really know how to. But that's something you figure out along the way. So definitely, yes. Growing up, I knew that I wanted to be a help to the community, but I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do yet. But being on campus and all the classes that I've taken, they've definitely helped me get a broad aspect to look into the career and see exactly where I want to be.
I want to go back to something that you talked about earlier when it was we were talking about your entrance into the college, about the grants that were available and how you learned out about that. Dawn, maybe you can share some of that, but how did that bridge work between you being totally naive, getting in touch with the people who could give you the resources so you could embark on this journey?
So basically it was a lot of research, and thankfully everybody that I reached out to and all the essays I wrote, it was such a great help. And, luckily my advisors also helped me with that process. And yes, I ended up finding the help that I needed in order to attend college.
And I'd like to talk about the embedded advisors. I think that PGCC does a great job with embedding advisors. So we actually have advisors now that work closely with the different departments. So people that need human service advising, I know who to go to. So we kind of streamline the approach so that students can be successful, especially students that aren't as articulate or that know how to advocate for themselves like Ruth does.
So basically what you're doing is you strategically partnering students with advisors to sort of maximize their opportunities.
That's right. That's right.
That's a phenomenal concept. But we are in a generation, quite frankly, where people want to get paid. I got to be, and we ask this of everybody. Is this a pathway that can lead you to some sort of financial security?
Yes. I like that. Can I answer that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first of all, when people think about human service, I think people think about, oh, it's a God job, and you don't really have a meaningful career. Well, prior to coming to PGCC as a full-time staff, I was an executive director of United Cerebral Palsy of Washington D.C. and Northern Virginia for 10 years, and I was adjuncting. I actually made an exit from UCP to become a full-time professor so that I could educate the future. So whether you begin during direct service, then you graduate to case management, then you go on to actually become what Ruth is going to do is become a licensed social worker to be able to practice therapeutic modalities with people. You can be gainfully employed and your own boss. Ruth will have a license. She'll be a licensed social worker within 3.5 years. She's graduating in May. We have an articulation agreement with University of Maryland, Baltimore. And that's the other thing PGCC does with our sister schools. We have a great articulation agreement. They will accept her 60 credits. I have our relationship with the director of University of Maryland, Baltimore, and the program is designed so that students don't absolutely have to go into Baltimore. They have a satellite location in Rockville, Maryland. So she can she'll go there for 2 years. I am planning her life for her, guys. I want you to know that.
Yeah, well,
She will go there for 2 years, and then the Advanced Studies Master's Degree program that they have all over the country, University of Maryland has. She'll have her master's degree in 12 months, and then she sits for the licensing board, and she'll be a licensed therapist. I'm so excited as a person of color that we have an influx of Latino families because Ruth is going to break the stigma. And I want to just mention one other thing. Part of the plight of the human service student at Prince George's Community College, you have to do an internship. We've been able to make great community partners. My predecessor made a great community partnership with Roberta's House of Baltimore and Prince George's County. I was able to refer Ruth. Ruth got the job there. Roberta's House provides services for families that experience trauma. Ruth did an internship and actually became gainfully employed. So while she is a student at PG and will be a student at University of Maryland, Baltimore, she's gainfully employed. So when she becomes a licensed therapist, the world is hers as far as who she wants to help, whether she wants to work for an organization, whether she wants to do private practice. But she's breaking that stigma, and we absolutely have to accredit that to PG and their path, the pathways, because this is a clear path. The articulation agreement was set in stone, but she bought into the philosophy because she is truly born a change agent.
And let's talk about that from your perspective, Ruth. Your thoughts on being that change agent, but the steps along the way that are building blocks that you're working through right now.
So basically for me, I thankfully got the internship at Roberta's House. Thankfully my mentor, Professor Carter, has really been a help for me. I got the internship at Roberta's House. I started in October. I helped with their school-based programs, which is basically they do art therapy with kids. And it definitely opened up a whole new world for me. I learned a lot about their services, and I also learned about what my day-to-day would look like as a licensed social worker, because I worked with their licensed social worker. And then thankfully, once my internship was done, they offered me a job to keep me. Now I'm their executive administrative assistant. And thankfully in this role, I am also learning a lot about what we do to help the community at Roberta's House. And thankfully, they work a lot with the community in PG County, and we're trying to reach out to the Hispanic community, for which we have opened up bilingual sessions of group therapy. And I'm honestly so proud that, Roberta's House is helping the Hispanic community in PG, because as Hispanics, we don't really talk about grief. It's one of those little hush topics. So in therapy in general, honestly. So getting the help that you need and knowing where to find it is crucial for our community.
So what'd you learn about about yourself or through this process?
So I definitely learned that I am a resourceful person and someone that wants to help, someone who wants to see change in our community. A lot of crimes, a lot of violence, that all happens due to unhealed people. So definitely being able to help out the community and prevent stuff like that from happening is definitely a very fulfilling idea that I have.
These are the intangible moments that define the experience here. So, Dawn, can you talk about that in about 30 seconds or so? When you see the light bulbs go off in students like that, and they become those change agents. I mean, that's really what it's about, right?
Yes. Alicia Jackson Warren and Dr. Wilkinson in the internship program, the internship department, they always talk to me about community partnerships. Ruth displayed her desire for art. I was able to see something in her. We talked about her trauma. We were able to marry art and trauma. Then we were able to connect. I was able to connect with Dr. Wilkins, with Roberta's House and the internship. Ruth showed up. She was an ambassador for Prince George's Community College. And because of her ambassadorship and because of her desire to help people, that ended up turning into a job. And I can totally see how the Pathways program works here, from experiential learning to the academic placement in the class, to the articulation agreement to UMBC, and I am so happy to be a part of it. I just ask one thing, that she doesn't forget me.
Never. Thank you.
I would tend to believe that most people that get in your face, Dawn, leave with an impression that lasts for a lifetime. Maybe it's me, Professor G, but I know that's how I'm rolling today.
She's very unforgettable.
Yes, she is. Yes, one of those people that certainly cuts through, for sure. And you will be too one day.
Thank
I'm sure
you.
we'll
I
talk
appreciate
20
that.
years down the road, hopefully, when Ruth Machado, who's now a human services student, who came to PGCC as a first-generation student, and she's already working in the field. That's phenomenal stuff. And Dawn, thank you for doing what you do, and we look forward to you keeping the bright young minds in the county flourishing in years to come. I am Professor G. Mark Gray. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Pathways to Success at Prince George's Community College. Our guests today have been Dawn Gillom Carter and Ruth Machado. These are stories from the best kept secret in the county, Prince George's Community College. And we've always got the light on for you. So drop on by.
Thank you for watching Pathways to Success at PGCC. For more information about Pathways at the college, visit our website at www.pgcc.edu.